Earlier this month, I reintroduced a private member's bill I had been working on in the last Parliament, Protecting Vulnerable People Against Picketing Act. My private member's bill passed second reading. However, it was never called to committee for public input. The bill would ensure that homes of supportive individuals cannot be picketed during labor disputes. It does not eliminate the right of workers to strike. It simply ensures that picketing does not take place in front of people's homes. I reintroduced this bill because I and the many people who've come to Queen's Park today believe it is an important issue that should be addressed through legislation. We have worked hard to promote inclusion and include supportive living residents in our local communities. But this inclusion means nothing if individuals are singled out in their neighborhoods and in our communities during times of labor unrest. I'm proud to be joined here today with Kory Earle, President of People First Ontario, and Keith Powell, Executive Director of Community Living Ontario, who, along with many other supporters from across Ontario, have been working closely with me and their members of Provincial Parliament to ensure that Bill 23 moves forward again for debate and ultimately public input. It is my hope that my colleagues in the government and in the NDP will recognize the importance of Bill 23 and work to ensure that people's basic rights of privacy and a peaceful home are not endangered. I'd now like to call on Keith and Kory.
Good afternoon. I believe that strikes occur in any situation where there's disagreement between management and the employees. And in the developmental services sector, strikes occur primarily when there are not adequate wage dollars available to deal with cost of living increases and other issues that are brought forward during the negotiations process. So it's safe to say that strikes occur when there is insufficient money to pay for the wages that good staff need to provide supports to people who have intellectual disabilities. Associations for Community Living emerged 60 years ago when parents came together and collectively advocated for the well-being of their sons and daughters. And ultimately, that advocacy has led to a vision that people are healthiest, happiest, and best supported when they live in the community, have real relationships and real homes, real jobs, and get a real education. Associations for Community Living have for now 50 to 60 years advocated for the full inclusion of people in their communities. They do this on behalf of people who have intellectual disabilities and their families, and they do this with people who have disabilities and their families. Their ability to do this is greatly enhanced by adequate funding from the people of Ontario, people like you and me, funneled to that work through our government. Imagine how people working for associations, advocating for the well-being of people who have disabilities, proud of the accomplishments that their organization has achieved through 50 years of successful social community building. Imagine how they feel when in a strike situation they're unable to provide the wages that they know their workers need and deserve, and when they see as a consequence pickets being put up in front of the homes that people live in. Imagine the sense of betrayal they feel that their advocacy for people is being eroded by factors beyond their control. It's an outrage for them to see pickets going up at people's homes, since they are very, very clear that the individuals living in those homes cannot affect the outcome of the bargaining process. So picketing at people's homes during strikes harms the people for whom associations have been created to advocate. Furthermore, it harms the culture of an organization because acts occur, situations evolve that are to no one's interest and no one's taste. So the harm that occurs to individuals when homes are picketed can do irreparable damage, not just to individuals themselves when their private lives are intruded upon, when their security and peace in their own homes is affected, but it can in fact be harmful to the culture of the organization, often underfunded organizations that have worked for years to advocate for the very well-being of those individuals. When picketing occurs in front of people's homes, the issue is no longer a labor management issue. It's a human rights issue. And that's why Community Living Ontario is here today to give support to this private member's bill. a bill that is meant to end picketing at people's homes, a bill that recognizes the human rights of the people who are not directly involved in the picketing situation and have no influence over its outcome. So Community Living Ontario supports the private member's bill that is being brought forward by Sylvia Jones because picketing of people's homes is wrong and it has to stop. Thank you. I'd like now to ask Kory Earle, President of People First Ontario, to follow up.
Thanks, Keith. People First Ontario is more than proud ever to stand behind this bill, to support this bill. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank Sylvia Jones for once again bringing this bill back to Queen's Park, and I must say rather quickly than expected. We'd also like to take the opportunity to also thank the members across this province who spoke out why picketing in front of people's homes were wrong. People First across this province believe that this bill is more than ever critical. It is bill ensuring people are treated equally in this province. People First members have faced two major strikes in Tillsonburg in 2007 and in Lanark County 2009. The strikes were extremely disruptive to the everyday lives of the people living in their homes. We believe that people with disabilities should be able to live a peaceful life. However, when a strike happens, people who are supported by agencies or organizations are always affected because they either have to wait 5 to 20 minutes or longer before they can go anywhere. Or the people have to listen to the constant yelling, and this also disrupts their lives. Further to all this, there's the lack of privacy. The residents of these homes are being watched 24/7 by the strikers. The community who never knew that these homes that are supported by agencies or organizations now do, because the picketing in front of their homes have singled them out. People who live in these homes have lost their rights to freedom because they either have to wait before they can go, or in some instances, pictures are being taken of them. I personally have witnessed the strike in 2009 that was held in Lanark County. I toured all the homes, and I must say that the people were in fear because they didn't know what would happen next. One person that I met within the home indicated, "Are they out there?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he kept saying, "Are they out there?" I then pointed outside, and he started to shake. Well, I told that person that they were not outside. I could see the fear in him. When a strike ends, individuals then have to go back to support workers that were just picketing their homes. How fair is this? When a strike happens, individual safety is at stake. I could go on and on how strike affects individuals. These are people's homes. We are calling on all MPPs to stand forward and support this bill. One of the greatest gifts that we can give is that individuals don't have to worry if a strike happens again. So this bill needs to pass second reading, then off to committee and brought back for third reading. People First of Ontario is more than ever committed to standing forward to ending the picketing in this province. We are neither on the union side, nor are we on the employer side. We are on the individual side. Let's get this bill passed so individuals don't have to worry if a strike happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Kory. Keith? If you are interested in learning more about Bill 23 and support it, I would encourage you to contact your local community living organization or your local member of provincial parliament. Thanks for your interest.